So you're thinking of moving to Fayetteville, North Carolina. Well, today I'll give you the pros and cons of living in Fayetteville. I'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Can take it.
Now, I feel like most people, you're either PCS'ing here, maybe you got a job on Fort Bragg, an independent contractor, you're a traveling nurse, or you're moving back to Fayetteville or to Fayetteville to help to care for your parents. Whatever the reason may be, I'll give you all the information you may need, like where should you live, what is there to do in Fayetteville, and how's the crime here. So definitely stick around to the end of this video so you don't miss any important information. Let's get started. One of the first pros of living in Fayetteville, North Carolina is definitely the affordability of homes. Over the past few years, obviously we've seen just across the nation, home prices skyrocketing, and Fayetteville definitely is part of that also, but homes are still pretty affordable in my opinion. It would depend on a lot on your salary and your cost of living and things like that. But our medium average price home is between about $250,000 to $280,000. And with that, you're looking at getting a 3 to 4 bedroom home, 2 full baths, garage, maybe a 2-car garage, and roughly between 1,700 to just about 2,000 square feet. Now, of course, all of this could really depend on the area. If you're looking to live in the suburbs of Fayetteville, like Hope Mills, Spring Lake, Raeford, Harney County area, it could be a little cheaper because it all depends on location. Something right in the middle of Fayetteville is going to be a little more expensive. If you take that same house and you put it on the county, keep that in mind, definitely. And Fayetteville is also 29% lower than the national average for home prices in America.
Not a bad percentage.
Next thing to talk about is going to be the cost of living. And definitely this all ties into affordability of homes, but Fayetteville is 1% lower than the state average and 6% lower than the national average for cost of living. Now, one thing that comes up a lot, it definitely is daycare. So I went to Facebook and I asked all my friends and family, what is the daycare prices these days? On average, I saw between $200 a week, $250 a week. And here's some of the comments that are on Facebook. And also in the description below, I'm gonna put a website which you could possibly get a discount. So definitely check out that website and hopefully it's very helpful for you guys. Now, the next thing we look at is going to be a grocery bill. Now, compared to the state average, we're 94% better than the rest of the cities in North Carolina, and we're 6% better than the national average for groceries. And according to a website called livingcost.org, for a single person, you're roughly looking around $512 a week you're spending on groceries, and for a family of 4, you're looking at roughly spending $1,300 a week here on groceries. Next thing to talk about is going to be utilities. Now, electricity bill here is roughly about $150 a month. Mine is around $200 a month. It really depends on you. And of course, make sure you shut off all the lights and things like that. But it's really gonna depend. But if you take $150 a month times a year, which is $1,800 a year you're spending on your electricity bill, which is lower than the national average, which is $2,600 a year. You're looking at spending 8.75 cents per kilowatts average electricity rate hour, which equals 1,200 kilowatts a month. Now, I don't know what all that means. I'm definitely not an electrical engineer. Definitely wanted to put those facts out to you. My water bill usually runs about $50 to $55 a month. And of course, it's gonna vary. It's only me and my wife in the house right now. So it could be a lot more if you got a bigger family. It could be a lot less if you're by yourself. If you like to water your grass, a lot more, things like that. It's obviously gonna fluctuate. Also for internet, you're looking at around, I spend with MetroNet, I spend about $45 a month. Of course, I'm on a promotion right now. It's gonna end here soon probably, but I don't know what it's gonna be when it ends. But you also have Spectrum. In my opinion, MetroNet's a little better. It's fiber optics. Again, I am not a complete computer guru, but I like MetroNet better, I like Spectrum. Spectrum, I think theirs was, I was paying about $80 a month. Again, I'm on a promotion, so we'll see how much it's going to be after the promotion is over with. And then you got CenturyLink, which I wouldn't recommend. I think it's dial-up almost. It's weird how they're even still around. Next thing to talk about is going to be outdoor activities. We've got the Raeford River Trail, we got the Raeford River, and we got 2 state parks nearby. We got Carvers Creek State Park, which is in Spring Lake, and then we've got Raven Rock State Park, which is probably about a good 30-minute drive away from Fayetteville. So not in Fayetteville, but definitely not too far of a drive in my opinion. But definitely check out those state parks. At Carver's Creek, you cannot stay the night there or camp out there, but there's fishing, hiking, biking, all that fun stuff. And same with Raven Rock also. Now, Raeford River Trail is probably one of my favorite places, and it's 7 miles one way. It's not a loop, so definitely if you park and you plan on walking 7 miles, you can be walking 14 miles because you've got to head back to your car. There's not a loop, it's one straight line, but it's definitely a great place to go check out, and all these parks are free.
Free's good. We like free.
Next great pro is going to be the culture diversity. Of course, with a lot of people PCSing here to Fort Liberty or Fort Bragg, we've definitely got a diverse culture of different nationalities. So definitely we've got different type of foods here. We've got Indian food here, obviously different Asian cuisines, Chinese, Vietnamese food, Korean food, Latino restaurants, mostly Mexican restaurants, but we've got some Cuban places around, we've got some Colombian places around, and probably my favorite is going to be the Italian food. I love Piero's, I love Luigi's, Elizabeth Pizza, Samio's, just to name a few places. And we also have 2 events they have twice a year that bring a lot of culture here to the area also. We've got the Dogwood Festival, which is actually happening right now. It's April and it's actually happening this weekend, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely blocking it off. You got food trucks out there, you got a carnival out there, they have free music out there, and just getting out there and meeting the different people. They have vendors out there selling things. It's a great time. I love going to the Dogwood Festival. And the next event they have is called the Folk International Festival. And this is more of a kind of the same thing as Dogwood Festival. They block it off for the weekend downtown, but it's more of different cultures of food. So definitely check it out. Food trucks out there, vendors out there also. And they also have a parade out there. So definitely the different type of nationalities and cultures out there. Before we jump into the cons of Fayetteville, North Carolina, I want to remind you, if you're thinking of buying, selling, or investing in the Fayetteville surrounding areas, please reach out to the team and I. We would love to help you. We get phone calls, emails, and text messages every day from folks just like you.
Ben and I have been getting callings all day.
We are local realtors here in the Fayetteville area. Please feel free to reach out to me. All my information will be down here below and in the description below. Also below will be my calendar link, so you can definitely set up a Google Meets call with me. Or if you're here locally, please give me a call or text, email. Would love to sit down with you at a coffee shop or at the office and explain anything or any questions you may have. So next thing I talk about is going to be the first con, and I'm going to address it, the big pink elephant in the room, crime in Fayetteville. Now, I am a retired Fayetteville police officer with 20 years and 10 months of service with Fayetteville, and I lived in Fayetteville for over 35 years. Me and my wife have been married for over 20 years. We raised our son. He's off at college now, Greensboro, and we never had any issues with crime. I know you're probably thinking, well, you're a cop. Of course, I'm gonna have issues with crime. Not saying I was not prone to crime. We definitely had our car broken into, things like that. No serious violent crimes at all. To me, to my wife, my son, or myself, or even close family and friends that I know very well. Like I said, I lived here for 35 years, and I cannot think of one person I know that was a victim of a violent crime, robbery, rape, anything like that. Not saying it doesn't happen here, of course, but I think it also depends on a lot of who you associate with and what you're doing. If I was a firm believer, if you're out past midnight, you're probably not doing good things usually. And I'm not saying that just because if you're a good person and you bake cookies all day and things like that, you're not going to be a victim of a crime or a violent crime. Of course, there are random acts. If you're at an ATM and you could be a victim of robbery, things like that. I've seen more property crimes take effect on everybody than more violent crimes that I know of people. If you're out doing bad things are probably going to happen to you. If you're out buying drugs, selling drugs, things like that, you're in bad areas, you're going to see more crime. Now in front of you is a website I use a lot called neighborhoodscout.com. Definitely check it out. They're a great resource. And now as a real estate agent, I cannot tell you my opinion about the crime. I can provide data to you. Through the Fair Housing Act, I cannot do that as a real estate agent, but I can definitely provide data. It's public knowledge. And here you go. So if you go to Neighborhood Scouts and you see that it is ranked number 4, and as you can see, 100 is the safest. Obviously, number 4 is is not a good number. It's safer than 4% of the U.S. cities. And you can see per capita crime rate, you can see it right here in front of you. And you look at violent crime in Fayetteville, it's 9.81 compared to North Carolina, which is 4.05. The chance to become a victim of violent crime is 1 out of 102 compared to 1 in 27 in North Carolina. If you look at property crimes, we're 34.84 compared to the North Carolina average of 20.64. You have a chance to become a victim of a property crime in 1 in 29, and in North Carolina 1 in 48. And definitely, like I said, that website will be in the description below, and it'll be right here in front of you also, so definitely check it out if you have more information about the local crime in Fayetteville or just any city in the world, actually. Next thing to talk about is going to be the noise from Fort Bragg, Fort Liberty. Now, Fort Bragg, Fort Liberty is one of the largest bases on the East Coast, if not even the world. So definitely, we're going to get a lot of military noise out here. Maybe I'm used to it by now. Lived there for so long, 35 years, like I said earlier, but it doesn't really bother me. I'm in Hope Mills, not far from Fayetteville. It's about a 10-minute drive to Fayetteville. But of course, the closer you live to base, the closer it's going to affect you. You know, I can't say it's not going to affect you because I just don't know how you are. But obviously that's a con, because the last thing you want is to be sitting outside drinking a beer or a cup of coffee. You're inside your house and you're also in your house starts shaking because they're shooting off artillery. So just be aware of that. Next thing I talk about is going to be the weather. Now, I got it as a con, but I think this could be a pro also.
We just can't pro and con anymore.
Depends again on you. To me, I think it's a pro, but we get all 4 seasons. It's not terribly cold. We're not so far up north, even though we're in North Carolina, where it's, you know, it's going to be cold and snowy and all that good stuff. And we're not too far south, but we're far enough to we're considered the south, and we do get some humidity here. So during summertime, not gonna lie, it does get hot here. I think the humidity is like 85-90%, and I think they said a comfortable level is like 70%. So we're definitely gonna be higher. So you're looking at June, July, August are your worst times for humidity, and you're really going to be using that air conditioner a lot, and it's going to suck. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to suck, but in my opinion, 3 months out of 12 months, and it's really bad for humidity, I'm willing to take it. I like it. But again, like I said, you get all 4 seasons, so I like that. Change of weather, definitely. You know, if it gets cold enough here where it kills all the bugs and insects and all that stuff. But then again, you know, we got spring and fall, and the fall foliage is great. If you're going to the Blue Ridge Mountains, checking it out. Of course, you got spring and just everything blooming and growing. It's a great thing. Now, of course, with spring comes the pollen, unfortunately. That's another con of the weather. So really depends on you. Again, like I said, the pollen affects a lot of people. Doesn't affect me too much. It does affect my wife, my son a lot. They're taking allergy pills all day long, but that could be, you know, an issue for you. So definitely look more into that. If it's, you know, the pollen's going to bother you, may not want to move to this area. Next con is going to be the limited public transportation. Fayetteville does have a bus that runs Monday through Sunday, I believe, but it's limited times. I think it's like 6 a.m. to about 9 p.m. and it's not a lot of buses that are coming through. I'm not sure the bus route. You definitely ought to check out their website, which will be down below in the description. And I don't know how much the buses cost either, because I got a car. Wife has a car, so we've never drove the bus here, but definitely check that out. But, you know, just talking to other folks, you know, if they have to be at work by 9 o'clock in the morning, then usually they have to be in a bus by 7 to make sure the bus route hits, it has to hit everybody else and them. Of course, we got Uber and Lyft and taxis here also. We're a medium-sized city, but we don't have, other than the downtown area, maybe a little bit of Haymount, you've got where you can walk everywhere, but you know, you don't have that luxury of like living in New York or Chicago, these bigger cities where you can walk almost everywhere. You've got subways and things like that. You can definitely ride your bike. I'm not saying you can't, you know, but it's just not feasible. Definitely, I would recommend getting a car here if you're going to move to the area and not have a car. So the next con is going to be the dependability on economics with the military. We're near Fort Liberty, Fort Bragg, of course, and this kind of is a double-edged sword. It provides a lot of stability for Fayetteville in general, but, you know, if cutbacks happen, things like that, then, you know, we're affected also. And it's really the only, if it wasn't for the base, Fayetteville probably wouldn't be on the map, to tell you the truth.
It's a small city.
I was a police officer here, was never in the military, so, you know, a little different from me. My wife was a former school teacher, and she's also now a realtor with me. So we didn't see those effects of it, but my dad was in the military, her parents where her father was in the military also. So, you know, that's how we ended up here. But it's just not a lot of stability for jobs. Definitely looking for those big corporate jobs, those big high-tech jobs are not in Fayetteville. We do have an Amazon plant that's coming here. Obviously, you can become an independent contractor in Fort Bragg, Fort Liberty. A lot of people are looking at that. Other than that, though, you know, bank jobs, things like that, we just don't have it here. Fortunately, you have to go to Raleigh or Charlotte almost to look for those bigger jobs. The cost of living is great here, as it has at one of my pros, but the jobs aren't here. You know, we've got an issue. So keep that in mind. Not a lot of stability here. I do see it improving a little bit. I've had more calls from doctors and nurses and some lawyers who are moving to the area, who are younger generation, who are looking to get their start here and doing a residency here. So definitely I'm seeing a little bit of that, but it's a slow pace. Now don't forget to reach out to me if you're thinking of buying, selling, or investing in the Fayetteville surrounding areas. The team and I would love to help you. We get phone calls, emails, and text messages every day from folks just like you. And if you enjoyed this video, please check out this video right here. We're talking about the 10 suburbs near Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I'll see you guys over there.